ultimate survival, Everest. The Discovery team arrived in base camp with a plan to climb the tallest mountain in the world and videotape every step of the way. So far, team leader Ben Webster, his girlfriend Shauna Burke, and professional mountaineers Andrew Locke and Hector Ponce de Leon have met every challenge the mountain has thrown at them. They have sidestepped avalanches.
We live to fight another day.
We cheated death.
Cheated again.
They've overcome changes in air pressure.
And it's like somebody's taking a couple of needles and is just driving into the ears. At the moment.
And they've walked into and out of some very sticky situations.
I actually told myself, don't look down, because that's when you're going to lose it.
Under Ben's direction, the team has gone safely from base camp up to Camp 1 and back down again. So far, the quest for the summit has gone according to plan. But today is just day 6 of a 50-day schedule. Plans change on Everest. The mountain might even have a plan of its own. For the last 2 years, Ben Webster's life has been nothing but planning this Mount Everest expedition. Just getting the team this far has been a logistical feat of epic proportions. Consider, Ben has brought together an international group of 34 people, along with 6 tons of equipment, 3,000 pounds of food, 100 bottles of oxygen, 16,000 liters of fuel, and 1,500 meters of rope. He's organized everything from Nepalese park permits to yak caravans. There's little details like which kind of lanterns to buy, and big details like which kind of radio system to bring. On the mountain, Ben is the deal maker, the ambassador, and most important, he dictates how and when Team Discovery climbs. He's the president of his own small but expensive republic. This expedition is costing $500,000 US. The stress of spending that money has been splitting his focus.
I'm a bit worried about Ben, because I know I can see that his energies are being pulled partially towards the project and partially towards climbing. And I've seen a shift over him in the last 48 hours where I can see he's now focusing in on going for the summit and climbing. So I'm happy to see that he's made that shift, and I think it was absolutely needed. It was something he needed to do, because I could tell that he wasn't totally committed to the climb.
So it's going to be...
Unlike Ben, most team leaders don't do the climb. They simply run their expedition from base camp. Ben planned on being in top physical shape right now, but his organizational efforts have left him drained.
Really low energy. I've never felt this low on a climb. I'm usually a reasonably high energy guy, and it's really dragging me down, and I'm sure it's the sickness. So I'm hoping it's going to clear. It better clear. Or I'm going to have a hell of a time up on the hill.
The plan today is to climb from base camp, past Camp 1, all the way to Camp 2, elevation 6,500 meters. Leaving early this morning is crucial, but Andrew and Hector haven't gotten up yet, and Ben has an equipment problem.
My problem is, something happened on my way climbing the other day, where I developed a real bad bruise and hot spot on the side of my foot, and I thought a day off would, a couple of days off would help it, but instead it's not, and any contact with the side of the foot is really, really, really painful. So what I'm going to do, because I would prefer to climb today as opposed to taking a few more days off. I'm just gonna hack the crap out of the boot until it doesn't touch anything.
For the first time on this expedition, it's Shauna who is most ready to go.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I see today is the real game that's beginning.
But nothing is beginning. This day is getting off on the wrong foot. Andrew arrives. He hasn't slept. He aches all over, and his lymph nodes are tender. As a professional high-altitude mountaineer, Andrew knows his body's limits.
Yeah, I'm feeling better tomorrow, I'll have a different outfit today. Let's rearrange a plan here, huh?
Here's Ben's new plan. Andrew will stay behind, rest, and make his acclimatization climb when he's able. Ben and Shauna will still climb for Camp 2 this morning, along with Hector. That is, if Hector still feels up for it.
What's the matter with you again, Hector?
I had stomach cramps during the night.
Still?
Yeah, I don't know what was it. Came so sudden.
Bad boots and a mystery virus. Ben makes another new plan. The entire team will now rest one more day here at base camp. Then, they'll all head up for Camp 2 tomorrow with a rejuvenated spring in their step.
Hopefully I'll be up to it tomorrow. But really, with a niggle like this, if you don't kill it down in base camp, it just stays with you for the whole trip and can really get in the way of the summit attempt later in the expedition.
The stuff that's sort of been occurring around the expedition has been uncomfortable, and obviously prefer to have everybody, you know, on 100% healthy the entire time, but that's not realistic.
Ironically, the person suspected of bringing the mystery virus to camp is Team Discovery's doctor, Matt Arentz.
I don't know if you heard from Lama Zhangbu, but did he come over here? I'm wiped. I've been wiped the past couple days.
Most frustrating thing is it just won't get better.
The only member of the Discovery team who's healthy and ready to go is the rookie, Shauna Burke.
I was a little bit disappointed with the decision, I think, because I spent so much time last night preparing myself for today. I felt ready mentally as well as physically. I had all my gear ready. I could feel the competitive juices flowing, so I was disappointed.
Just days ago, Shauna was worried she would hold her team back. Now, they're holding her back. The poet Lord Byron wrote, "I live not in myself, but I become a portion of that around me. And to me, high mountains are a feeling, but the hum of cities, torture." What would be torture to most city folk is a natural feeling for these two high mountain climbers. They have become a portion of the mountain, and the mountain has become a portion of them. Why do people come here? What's the point? For Will Cross, the point is simple. He wants to show the world that diabetes might slow people down, but it should never hold them back.
With diabetes, I don't recover as fast as a regular climber. So I have to take it slowly so that my body gets in tune with the mountain at a pace that I can handle. But I think when we have obstacles in our lives, it is our choice, because it is our life, to either get out there and get on with it, or to not. But I think the world is a bigger place, and it's important to me to get out and see it.
Will Cross, a 37-year-old high school principal with type 1 diabetes, is an adventurer on a mission. In a series of expeditions that he calls the Peaks and Poles Challenge, Will has set out to climb the highest mountain on every continent and walk to both the North and South Poles. So far, he's made it to both poles, and he's summited 4 of the 7 mountains, with only the Russian and Australian left to conquer after Everest.
It's time to get the job done. So, all in all, I feel good. I got good teammates, good preparation, and now we just get on the ice and hope the weather holds.
Will's goal today is to reach Camp 1. To get there, he must navigate his way up, over, and through the treacherous Khumbu icefall.
Like you're running across like a slate roof, and at any point one part could fall in. And I actually started to hyperventilate, which I was not very impressed with. I mean, my job as a climber is to assess the situation, get my emotions in check, and do the job. And as I assessed the situation and tried to get my emotions in check, I just thought, oh my God, this is terrifying. They don't get any easier, that's for sure. That's a long way down.
As Will hones in on Camp 1, illness continues to ravage Team Discovery. Head Sherpa Lakpa Gelu has come down with the merciless Khumbu cough. He's come to the base camp hospital for treatment.
When do you go up?
Maybe tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay. I think I can give you a little bit of codeine, but I also want to give you a breathing inhaler. I think will help a lot up on the mountain. Okay?
Lakpa Gelu has made it to the summit of Everest 10 times. He didn't used to use Western medicine, but these days drugs are a part of climbing. The most common medication of this mountain is Diamox, a diuretic that relieves brain swelling. There's lots of antibiotics and painkillers too, but nothing can cure the Khumbu cough. Sometimes sufferers cough so hard, they break their own ribs.
You can start today and all the way take it with you when you climb. Morning and evening. I think it'll do a lot of good. Then I'll give you some pills for nighttime.
Okay.
That'll help when you're coughing at night. Okay. Try take a dose here. Okay.
Dose now, right?
Yeah.
– 600 vertical meters above Lakpa Gelu, Will prepares to give himself a shot of insulin. It's a complicated process made more difficult by the temperature. If Will's insulin freezes, it becomes useless. At altitude, diabetics also have to be concerned about circulation, infection, and sudden drops in blood sugar levels.
Don't try that at home. That should do it. I also need to keep enough blood sugar in my system in case there's an accident or a sudden need to really work hard, get someone out of a crevasse, move through an area quickly because suddenly it's moving. So in that sense, it's a lot different than someone who's just worrying about when am I going to eat, when am I going to drink. I don't have enough energy right now, and I know that I'm hydrated, so I know that I need to eat more food.
But if I'm going to eat more food, I need to give more insulin to make me, because that insulin will make the food worthwhile.
The odds are stacked heavily against Will making it to the top. Not because he's diabetic, because despite his impressive resume, he's never been above 8,000 meters.
For someone who's never been on an 8,000 meter peak, of reaching the summit is like 1 in a 10% chance, something like that, something really low.
Annabelle Bond is a socialite daughter of a wealthy British bank owner. She's a mountain climbing greenhorn who has taken a serious risk by coming here. Mount Everest has killed many climbers who are stronger and more experienced than Annabelle, and she knows it. It's like she's trying to run before she can even walk.
I don't know if you could tell on the camera, but I actually had some panic attacks where I was like, I was finding it really hard to breathe. And I don't really want to let the team know for them to think that I'm completely neurotic. So I was trying to hide it, but it was like, you know, this complete, you're surrounded by this seracs everywhere, and I don't know, I just felt a little bit panicky. I have to tell myself a lot that I can do this, that other people have done it, and I've definitely got the strength and the ability to do it. So I have to keep talking to myself and talking to myself that I can do this and not to get scared. I mean, I do get scared about crevasses and heights, and you know, this is one tough mountain.
This vicious environment attracts mostly men. Serious, focused alpha male men make up 96% of Everest climbers. Annabelle is different, not just because of gender, but also because of attitude. She smiles and laughs through every hardship Everest offers.
Phew, I think I'm going to stay hooked in while I jump across this. Do I want to step onto that little piece? Does it feel like it's making you kind of hunch over? Or not?
Annabelle evolves as a climber and walks upright.
Oh my God! Heart attack. Oh.
Back at Team Discovery's base camp, Andrew is also on his feet. The team is weak, but desperate to get going. They can't waste any more time sitting here. If they're going to summit Everest, they need to climb no matter what physical condition they're in.
I just don't feel strong. I've been sick for the first, 3 weeks of the expedition, and it's taken a big toll on me.
This morning, Team Discovery is finally mobile again. Leaving Mount Everest base camp and headed for Camp 2, the climb develops a problem. It's Ben. The team leader feels weak. At Camp 1, Ben drops out. He needs to rest. Andrew, Hector, and Shauna press on for Camp 2, across the wide-open western Coombe. Camp 2 is known as Advanced Base Camp. It has a well-stocked kitchen tent and a full communication center, all prepared ahead of time by the Sherpas.
Here we go.
You're the girl. You are the girl.
There you go. Enjoy, boys.
Shauna, Andrew, and Hector have arrived safely and are settling in for a full night's sleep, followed by a full day's rest. Ben knows that if he doesn't reach Camp 2 today, his plan will have to change again. Reflecting on yesterday, he already sounds defeated.
I just crashed and burned at Camp 1. And I really, my confidence was really low because it had been the worst performance I had had on Everest. On all the expeditions I'd been on up here, it was the single worst day I think I had ever had.
But when Ben rises, he feels new strength and makes it to Camp 2 ahead of his Sherpa companions. After a fitful sleep with his girlfriend Shauna, Dan is back on schedule and seems eager to move the team onward and upward, even if most of them are still sick. Here's the plan. Lakpagelu, along with his cough, will lead Mingma and Hector, along with his stomach cramps, to Camp 3, and then even higher to secure safety lines. Everyone else will climb only as far as Camp 3, then they'll turn around. The whole team must be back here at Camp 2 before dark. Annabelle Bond and her team share the same acclimatization schedule as the Discovery team. In fact, a lot of people share the same schedule. The Lhotse face may look lonely from afar, but look closely. It's a very popular spot this time of year. Popular and deadly.
Going up the Lhotse face, which is a steep slope, at the very bottom is a huge crevasse. And that's where a lot of dead bodies have accumulated, just because they've made, a small mistake. They've forgotten to clip in, or they've, clipped a crampon, or an ice axe, blown out of the side of the mountain. And that reminder, and knowing that crevasse is there, I think the first time when I cross it is going to make me think about my mortality.
The whole Lhotse face seems a little bit daunting. It's way steeper than I anticipated. And I have to say it's freezing right now. I think it's 6:30 in the morning and I can hardly feel my hands and feet. But anyway, we're here to give it a go today.
Going partway up the mountain and then coming back down again is a physiological trick that climbers play on their bodies. By going to a high altitude and then resting at a lower altitude, a mountaineer's blood changes and is able to absorb more oxygen in the future.
From my perspective, on no account would I say it's an easy mountain. Anything over 8,000 meters is something to be reckoned with, and I think you've got to respect the mountain. We've got fixed lines which help us, but anything can happen out there.
You can literally fall off the Lhotse face. At some places, it slopes 70 degrees and more. This is where survival really becomes an uphill climb.
This bit of the mountain that we're climbing through now is called the Bergschrund. It's where the Western Combe, the valley, meets the bottom of the Lhotse face. It's about a 100-meter ice cliff, and it's been the scene of many climbers' accidents. 2 years ago, the day I arrived in base camp, one British climber took a fall down the Lhotse face over the Schrund and was killed. In 1991, when I was here, one of my teammates was avalanched down the Lhotse face, and somehow, miraculously, the avalanche took him right over the Bergschrund, down onto the Western Combe, and he survived. The challenge for each expedition is to find a path through the Bergschrund, which lets us avoid the steepness of the cliffs and get up onto the Lhotse face. And that's the route I'm on now. It's at the very bottom of the face. We have a long way to go to Camp 3.
Shauna moves slower than Andrew, but because of a good weather forecast, they've chosen to start later. Today's climb will be the highest in the entire acclimatization plan. Every meter gained in altitude today is like money in the energy bank when the fight for the summit begins.
When does the panting stop?
Ben climbs out from the Bergschrund and onto the Lhotse face. There's a whole new way to die here. Look up, but cover your eyes. Shauna is below a group of climbers who are inadvertently causing jagged hailstones of ice to rain down the mountain.
Always use your ascender when you can, Bev. Because you don't know when somebody might knock a piece off or wipe you out. You got your carabiner, you go the length of the pitch. If you have your jugger on, you'll stick. May hurt a little bit, but you're not going for a long ride.
When Ben says jugger, he means Shauna's ascender, the essential climbing tool she's clipping in right now.
First pitch of the Lhotse face. Sort of a snow pitch. We'll get into the harder blue ice that you can see the climbers up above already kicking into. We'll try to get up as quick as we can in through here and get behind the queue of the climbers. All right, off you go.
This is steep.
Yes, it's steep, and it's only going to get steeper. Up. So, slow and easy. Key here is, again, regulate your breathing. You hyperventilate, and it takes you 5-10 minutes to recover. It's better to go slow, easy, stay at a regular heart rate. If you max out, I've had my heart rate go up to 200 here, and it takes you forever to recover. So the idea, slow and steady, get your heart rate maybe 130, 140, and sort of cruise up.
On the Lhotse face, climbers' hearts can be traumatized emotionally as well as physically. Several dead mountaineers are frozen right into this ice, preserved for all to see. Climbing teams establish 4 camps in Mount Everest. Camp 3 looks like an unbelievable set from a Hollywood action movie. Annabelle Bond wants to get there and back down to Camp 2 before dark.
Kiko?
Yes?
How far do you think we've got till we get to Camp 3?
In hours?
Yeah.
2.5, maybe 3.
3 more hours?
2.5.
From here?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Really?
2.5.
2.5?
We have
But
to
I
climb.
thought it was just there.
We have to climb 250 meters.
Okay, I've just had the bad news delivered. 2.5 hours to go.
Maybe.
Help. I was thinking like 1.
Maybe 2.
Boo-hoo.
Andrew Locke knows rope. His life depends on it. What does he know about the rope he's clipping into right now? He knows he didn't put it there, so he doesn't trust it.
These fixed ropes are a great safety line, but we never know the history. Someone could have trod on it with their crampon. Ice could have cut the rope above me. It's a good backup, but the ice axe is my best friend on the mountain. I never like to climb without it. Okay. So, as you can see, it's bloody hard work climbing the Lhotse face. We're on a steeper pitch here. And below me
You can see how it goes vertical and then down into that bergschrund. Everything feeds down into that huge crevasse at the bottom. This is the reason why you have to focus hour after hour after hour. One misstep or one misclip, and you'd have no way of stopping on vertical ice like this. You'd just be bouncing down the face until you ended up in that graveyard known as the bergschrund. But we seem to be doing okay. Hard glacial ice. This is really hard ice. And there's not a lot of snow cover. So we're kicking in here using a lot of effort and a lot of energy just to make sure our feet are secure before we move up the line. If there had been snowfall that had stuck to this ice, would have made the climbing easier, but that wasn't to be, so we climb with what we have.
Going up any steep face involves a routine. Rope is fixed to the mountain every 50 meters with titanium ice screws. Climbers must stop at each one of these. Ben moves his carabiner, which is attached to his safety harness, from below the ice screw to above it. This is when he's most vulnerable. It's clumsy, it's time-consuming, and when fingers get cold, it's dangerous. It's like unclipping and reclipping your seatbelt while you're speeding down the highway. Still, many purists believe this rudimentary equipment has made climbing Mount Everest too easy. They say these communal safety ropes attract hikers who have no business being on the world's tallest mountain.
This is quite a bit steeper than I thought. Going upward, you can't really tell how steep it is. But what's going to scare me the most is coming down.
An ear infection, a foot injury, and the ongoing stress of producing this climb are taking their toll on the Discovery team leader. If Ben crashes, the entire expedition could snowball into disaster. Headed toward Camp 3, every climber on Mount Everest comes face to face with the cold, hard reality of death. Annabelle Bond pays respect to the mountain and the fallen.
I've just seen my first dead body, and I'm not really enjoying that experience. As a matter of fact, I'm finding it really off-putting. Camp 3 couldn't come soon enough in my eyes. I guess I'll keep going. I'm tired. There's no question, and I've got to go back down as well. So it's going to have been a big day. And I can't help, and I can see the body as I'm talking to you, so I think I might keep going.
Bodies are rarely recovered from this altitude. Frozen remains are respectfully dropped into crevasses, dragged out of sight, or left right where they fall. At over 7,300 meters altitude, just above the snowed-in Camp 3, Hector, Mingma, and Lapkagelu are securing safety lines. Their goal is to make it to 7,800 meters, where Everest changes to yellow marble, a milestone called the Yellow Band.
Lapkagelu and Mingma, they're beginning the first lead out of Camp 3 to start, fixing our ropes up to the Yellow Band. I don't know how far we're gonna get today, because it's snowing a little bit, and conditions of the snow slope don't look very good. There's some ice, as we can see over there, so might take some effort and some time to do every 50-meter stretch of rope up above Camp 3.
It's not the job of any one person or team to put safety ropes on the mountain. Weaker teams never do it. They wait and trust that stronger teams will spend the energy and the money installing the hardware. Once the route is established, all teams will use it. For Team Discovery, today's effort is the end of the line. They're going back to base camp when this job is done. Fixing the rest will have to be done by someone else.
I have to say, the altitude, I can start feeling it. We're at 7,400 meters approximately. And pretty much 1,000 meters above Camp 2. And now every step is really, really requiring even a concentration. It's like you have to take one step and think about 2 or 3 times breathing. So little oxygen up here.
Safety lines on Everest are usually secured by Sherpas and only Sherpas. Hector can't abide by that.
I really need to feel I'm doing my share of the fixing of the climbing, and that I'm earning my way up this mountain. You know, if I don't do that, after a while I start feeling I haven't earned it, I haven't deserved it.
With Lac Pagelu playing out the line, Hector soldiers up the mountain. Also headed up the mountain are snow clouds, rising through the Khumbu Valley. Team Discovery needs to get up high for acclimatization, but they also need to get back down to Camp 2 before dark. Dan and Shauna are caught between their long-term goal and their short-term safety.
Well, the weather's started to come in, and little light flurries. Visibility, very little at the moment.
To fully acclimatize, the plan of every climber is to reach Camp 3. But before Ben and Shauna can get there, the winds pick up, the snow swirls, and they can go no higher. Leaving late has cost them. They have to turn around just short of their goal.
It's pretty hard to walk down when you can't see. Over.
Yeah, sometimes going down is a little harder than going up.
Absolutely. Okay, we'll talk to you in a bit. We're gonna go real slow and real careful on the way down. Over.
Above Ben, Andrew has made it to Camp 3 and is now beginning his descent with Annabelle, whom he knows from base camp. Further up, Hector, Lac Pagelu, and Mingma are also retreating. Blowing snow presents a world of trouble. Everyone high on the mountain has turned back and is headed for Camp 2. Now, it's a race against time. This weather is a big problem. When snow falls, so do climbers. And on Everest, falling kills. Thanks to this whiteout, Ben and Shauna can't see footholds in the ice. Deep crevasses are covered up, and the slippery Lhotse face is becoming an avalanche waiting to happen.
This has got to be the most difficult part of the climb for me. The scariest, I should say. Hard to see anything.
Hard to see, hard to breathe, hard to walk, hard to stay warm, hard to remember why you thought this would be a good idea in the first place. Climbing Mount Everest is like being on a rescue mission, except on this rescue, the same person is simultaneously the victim and the hero. This is what high-altitude mountaineers do. They spend their lives getting themselves into trouble, then getting themselves out. That's the buzz.
Very hard conditions to retreat. Very good decision to retreat when we did.
Ben and Shauna make it down safely, but things aren't going according to plan. They haven't climbed as high as their other team members. Shauna's having a hard time sleeping, and Ben is still suffering from the mystery virus.
I didn't have my A game today. I didn't feel strong. I didn't feel powerful. And I haven't for the last probably 2 or 3 weeks. Honest, it's just something that's ongoing. I think I have to get down into a lower altitude and get healthy.
With 2 hours of daylight left, people are waiting in Camp 2, staring up at the mountain, wondering, praying, hoping the next people who appear through the shroud of falling snow will be their friends, their team members. This time, it's Andrew and Annabelle, happily returning from their successful climb to Camp 3, 7,400 meters above sea level.
He called me before I could prepare my face. Thank you. I'm on my absolutely last cylinder. No good. It's been a really, really tough day. I've seen a dead body. I've had frostbite on my fingers. All captured by Andrew. Andrew saved the day by helping me get down. It was way tougher than I anticipated. I'm looking forward to going back to base camp.
With 1 hour of daylight left, the last of Team Discovery make it back. The Sherpas are casually drinking tea, warming their bones. For them, this was just another tiring day at work.
I'd say pretty much the wind chill was something like minus 20, you know, considering the air temperature, and the wind blowing something like 40 miles an hour. So, as I said, this does wear you out. Yeah.
Now Ben's plan is to get the whole team back to base camp and rest for an entire week. As soon as they're in fighting shape again, Team Discovery will start up the mountain for the final time with 2 monumental goals. First, they plan on making it to the summit. Then they plan on making it back down alive. But on Everest, plans change. The only thing chiseled in stone around here is the mountain. On the next episode of Ultimate Survival, Everest, Annabelle is at the end of her rope. Two climbers go missing.
This morning I've been looking at the Lhotse face, trying to spot people, and I haven't still seen anyone.
And Team Discovery's newest summit plan doesn't include Shauna.
I don't know how to deal with it. I feel like I'm waiting. What is going to happen to me?